Good day, my friends. My name is Kurt Coetzee. I'm the founder of the Wealth Masters Club. I want to share something urgent with you. Our economy is suffering, and it's because of the COVID-19 and the regulations going with it. And I can understand the regulations. There need to be some kind of regulation to contain it. But fact of the matter is, when the lockdown, as it is at the moment in South Africa, where restaurants are not allowed to sell alcohol and only allowed to have takeaways, no sit-down meals. So that is causing a big problem. And then when something like that happens, then people think, say, for example, you're an accountant. Then you think, okay, no, fortunately, that won't happen to me. My business can carry on as usual. It's not true. The businesses that are affected directly will definitely have an effect of the businesses that are not affected directly. Because, so see it like this, if the restaurant is not making money anymore because it is not open anymore or whatever the case, and then it stopped ordering food and wine and so on from its suppliers. When the suppliers are not getting orders, then they have problems. So it's a whole chain reaction that you have here of problems that are beginning, because then people are getting laid off in businesses that are actually not even directly affected by the COVID. Like, for example, a factory, for example. It can have a serious effect because people are not buying like they should, because the people who still have an income are perhaps not earning as much as before, or whatever the case might be, or people might be completely without income. So yes, eventually it will affect everybody. Now, guys, when something like that happens, then obviously the creditors of the business won't be happy if you are not paying them. They understand. They understand because of the COVID. And some of them will be very lenient in it and helping you to get around it and give you a payment holiday. But eventually, they will zoom in on you. Creditors will go to the courts and they will get a court order and they will take whatever they can that has value, because everybody is at the end looking after themselves. So guys, we have a way at Wealth Masters Club that we are already practicing now for many, many, many years. And I think maybe it is just time to make you aware of it. So the existing members, you know it, but it might be a good idea even to just see it again. And obviously for new people, and I'm talking especially to business owners today. So I want to show you how to crash-proof your business. If you look at the COVID situation as it is at the moment and all the problems that I already mentioned, then actually, if you read between the lines, then you will see that there are actually a lot of new opportunities coming up, a lot of them. And for a positive person, especially somebody like me, an entrepreneur, you can make a lot of money with the opportunities, because if you can bring a solution to the table for a problem, then that can be a huge business opportunity. Like, for example, in the first lockdown, when they closed the restaurants, and the restaurants started with the takeaways and they started with deliveries and so on, a whole new industry actually developed around it. So you just have to be there and you have to be first. But the problem is, when it is affecting your business directly, then people are actually getting scared, very scared. And so they get actually paralyzed of fear. And that is the thing, is when you're afraid, then you are not looking for opportunities anymore. You are looking for escape routes or ways to escape. It's a negative thing opposed to a positive. So we must take the fear away first. And the fear that I'm talking about here, let me show you what it is. You see, the problem starts with the structure that you are in at the moment, your personal life and your business life, and all intertwined into the same entity. If you have everything that you have in the same entity, in your name or your spouse's name or both names, but in the same entity. So let's call it a personal entity or a business entity. It doesn't matter. If everything is in the same entity, like your house, your furniture, your business assets, your income, in other words, everything in the same entity. Let's say it's in your name. And if something goes wrong there with that business, for example, which is now the case with the COVID at the moment, is people are losing their businesses. So if something goes wrong there, see what happens. it can wipe out everything that you have. And that is what will happen when the creditors move in on you. They will eventually sequestrate you. And it's because everything is on the same balance sheet. So the whole thing is wiped out. And that is what we have to prevent from happening. If we can stop this from happening, guys, then we have a fighting chance. Then if I could just take the fear away, because this is the problem. It's a cause of the fear. And it's not just this. The fear is not just because of the COVID or the lockdown regulations. It is because you have the wrong accountants. Because what I'm about to share with you now is something that they do not teach at university or colleges. And unfortunately, that's where the accountants receive their training. So nothing wrong with your accountant as such, but the accountants, your normal, ordinary accountants, are not aware of these things that I'm going to share with you now. So right, let me share with you the ideal structure, the ideal business structure. Our famous double trust structure. We have our assets and our liabilities in different entities. That is how we do it, in different entities. So we put all our assets in a trust, and we put all our liabilities in another trust. Does it make sense? We can only do it with trust. You cannot do it with anything else. You can only do it with trust. You cannot do this. This is the best risk management tool or method or structure that I'm sharing with you now. And it can only be done with a certain type of trust, not any trust. So let's use more familiar names. So this is what I do. And this is a structure that we already registered back in 1996, and thousands of people are using it already. But all of these people and all of the service providers are members of our club. If people are not a member of our club, like even accountant, if an accountant is not a member of the club, they won't know what we are talking about. Because these are streetwise things that we are already doing for many, many, many years. Right, so there at the bottom, then instead of having everything in your personal name, you split it up into 3 entities. So there at the bottom, you have your company, your PTY Limited company. I always prefer to work with a PTY Limited company. And then what we do is we make sure this company won't belong to you, because there's danger in holding shares in a PTY Limited company. So you put the shares in a share trust. And all the tools, let's say it's a factory that we are talking about, a furniture factory. Then all the tools, all the equipment, all the machinery, all the vehicles, furniture, everything will be moved over to an asset trust. And to move it over to these trusts, guys, is very easy, very simple. Some of it just by way of book entries. It is the easiest, cheapest way to get rid of the risk. Because if we do it like that, if we are structured like that, then we have legal firewalls between all these entities. The creditors of the one cannot touch the others. That is how it should be. You see, if Popper now hits the fan and sheriff shows up on the door and he wants to take everything on that factory floor, he's got a court order from the creditors sent him now. So he's now there to write up everything on that factory floor and to take possession of it and put it on auctions. So that is when they will discover that you have this structure, because we will share it with you and you share it with any creditor in future when a sheriff shows up. So you will show them a file, and in that file, the sheriff will see, the sheriff of the court will see that everything on that factory floor belongs to that asset trust. And even the shares of the company belongs to a share trust. And then the sheriff will know. There's nothing he can do. Nothing to write up here today, because nothing on this factory floor belongs to the company. You see, the company is leasing it every month from the asset trust. And there's a certain way of doing it to make it legal. Don't try this at home, as they always say. It must be done in the right way. Now, if they see, sometimes when they see they cannot get to the company and they cannot get to the assets, then they want to go to the shareholders. They want to take your stuff because you're still driving a nice car, living in a nice house. So then they want your stuff. But then they will discover that you are not the shareholder of the company. It's a share trust. The share trust is the shareholder of the company. And there's nothing else in that share trust than the shares of the company. So if the company is worthless, then the share trust is worthless. But who cares? The thing is, you still have all your tools, all your equipment, all your machinery. You can just move over the street to a new premises, and we start a new company for you, and you're still in business. And a new company structure will look exactly the same with different entities, new entities. And there you are still in business. So point here is you can never be closed down. The worst that can happen to you is they can force you to move to a new premises. That is the worst, but they cannot stop the way in which you do business. Imagine a situation like that. You opened a new company in a new premises. Your customers, your old customers will follow. So they're all still there, but your creditors are left behind. That is the ideal. Very controversial, but very ideal. But I must warn you guys that any trust is not a trust. It must be the right type of trust. It must be a good trust with good administration, and then you have a real trust. So don't think any trust is now good enough. It is definitely not. Most trust in South Africa is not even worth the paper it is written on. Believe me, they won't stand in court. The structure won't work in any common trust. So right, and that even goes for accountants. So I know you would love to stay with your old accountant, but guys, think about it like this. Your old accountant, doesn't matter how good his or her attentions were before, they just simply do not know these things. So they are not bad people or bad persons, but it is just a simple thing that their firm cannot do these things. So you need to have the right accountants. That is the only time that I can guarantee that this will work. If you have the right accountants, it's a Destinata Trust, Destinata Accountants, Destinata, that is the name of the group that we are using, the service providers, and they will provide you then with a specialized trust, special wording and special administration. And only then it is possible to crash-proof your business, and no creditor can ever close you down. It's impossible to be closed down there. Okay, guys, I think many of you would like to know more about it. You can go to our website, wealthmastersclub.com. And then you go to the contact us link there on the top. As you see, the arrow is pointing there. And when you click on it, it'll open a little block where you just fill in your detail and what you would like us to do. So if you want a consultation with our accountants, you just put there in the detail in the text block. You just say, put me in touch with your accountants, and we do that. They will contact you, and we can have a consultation. And we can do it online, we can do it with Zoom, we can do it with Skype. There are many ways to do consultation. And only thereafter you can decide whether this is going to be for you or not. That is all that I wanted to share with you guys. I hope it helped a bit, and that you will safeguard your business as soon as possible, because guys, it's crucial now. Now you have to do this as soon as possible. Thank you very much for listening. Cheers.